Hello, I'm Chef Almeida Fonseca. I'm with the Culinary Institute of America at Greystone campus. And now we're going to present to you a wonderful recipe, and there is several applications and several differential in temperatures when it comes to this recipe. This is basically going to be a shallow poached halibut. They're going to be poached in canola oil. They're going to be infused with several herbs and garlic and shallot and lemon. So we're going to have a lot of flavor there. Okay, so I'm going to start it out by flavoring my poaching oil first. So I'm going to have over here, and again, poaching is very different when it comes to temperature, because when you poach, you don't want to really bring the liquid to a boil. We want to simmer. So my poaching liquid should be no higher than 165 to 175. That is generally a good poaching temperature. So I'm going to just kind of start it out with a very low heat, okay? And I'm going to add my flavored components. My flavor component is just fresh rosemary, have a spear over there, fresh bay leaves, I'm going to use just one in this case. I have one slice of lemon, okay, a beautiful sprig of thyme, and then some shallots and some garlic. The next thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to start my sauce. So my sauce, what I did, I took some beautiful Roma tomatoes, I tossed with a little bit canola oil and salt and pepper, and I'm oven roasting. So I've been roasting at 350 degrees for about 15, 20 minutes, so it should be done right now. So let me get it out. That's perfect. And what you see over here is just gorgeous roast tomato. You can see that the skin, you know, retrieves a little bit to give a nice color. And one thing that I want to emphasize again, this beautiful canola flavor oil over here is no more no less than a freshly infused tomato oil. So this oil you can save for several other applications. In this case, I'm going to utilize for my sauce later. Okay? The other component of my sauce is a confit of shallots. And confit is an interesting technique because confit, you actually slow braise the shallots in oil. So you're going to be, you know, it's just going to be just nice and buttery, and you're going to have a lot of flavor over there. And I've been confiting my shallots in the oven at, again, at 325 degrees, 350. Cover will be okay, and I've been doing that for about 30 minutes or so. Okay, so it's going to be perfect right about now, and it should be ready. So what I want you to see, again, this is no more no less than a freshly shallot infused canola oil. And I want to show you the confit because this is one of my favorite techniques, and you can see how candy it is. So it's just very soft to the touch, just beautiful color, great sweetness. It's just amazing. This is a great sauce you're going to enjoy for sure. And again, not only would work very well with a poached fish, but would work with a grilled fish, with a grilled chicken, now several applications over there, and it's going to be really a nice looking sauce. So I'm going to take my blend over here, and I'm going to start it out my ingredients. I'm going to add my shallots. And you don't need to strain the oil because, again, this oil is part of the sauce. This is basically going to be like a warm dressing, a warm vinaigrette, okay? You know, I'm going to use a little bit of this shallot oil to be part of my starting point on the sauce, okay? And then I'm going to go into the tomatoes. The tomatoes, I'm just going to move a little bit the dry skins that may come out. The moist skins I'm not too concerned about because they're going to break into the blender and going to be just a beautiful dressing. This is good. And this is beautiful. And once again, I'm going to use a little bit of this tomato oil over here because it's just so flavorful and have a lot going on over here, and we're going to utilize this. Okay. Rest over here, out of the way. And my flavor profile going to be cumin, dry cumin. If you don't have any dry cumin, you can use cumin seeds, and the only thing I like you to do with cumin seeds is to gently toast it on a dry pan just to withdraw some of the natural oils out, and then you'll be able to put it in a spice grinder and make your dry cumin, okay? This is what we call pimentón dulce, or Spanish paprika. It's a nice sweet paprika, you know, that comes from Spain. Just great flavor. Okay? I'm going to put a little bit black pepper, a little bit of salt. Okay. I'm going to add a little bit lemon zest just for flavor profile. I think, I always work a little bit acid. It's good, not putting a lot, but just a little bit would work really well. And then sherry vinegar, which is just a tremendous flavor. Going to have a lot of texture, a lot of deep flavor. Going to be really a great sauce right here. So here I'm going to start it out with very, very low. And one thing that you want to do is really to see that the sauce is holding great texture. You don't want very runny, you don't want it very tight. You want just a nice balance that will just smear on the plate, and you're going to be able to use as a component. So once you get to this point, and I want you just to see which direction we're getting over here. So we see already that there is nice texture, it's not extremely runny, tremendous aroma. A little bit more black pepper over here, I think would be appropriate. And here we have it. Okay, so I'm going to rest a little bit. Just let it sit over there. No problem. Keep it nice and warm while we go through the next part of the process, okay? There is a couple things that I need to do. So you see that the temperature over here on my oil is getting close. And what you're noticing over here, this bubbling over here, what it is the liquid, the water from the lemon that is coming into the oil. And that is basically what is happening over here, okay? So I'm going to take my fish. So right here I have a beautiful piece of halibut, and the only thing I'm going to do is just going to cut a nice portion of this halibut over here, and I'm going to utilize that as my portioning. Here we go. Temperature is coming together. Just going to test it a little bit. And one thing that you actually want to see, after you work with oil for several years, you start to understand how texture of the oil works. And again, the canola oil is very stable, and it handles a lot of heat, and the smoking point is very high. I'm not worried about the smoking point in this specific application because this is a shallow poach and I work with a very low temperature. But I need to watch the fact that there is moist ingredients like this lemon that sometimes, if the temperature gets a little bit too high, it separates the oil. So here I'm really, really safe. I have no issues over here. So my temperature is perfect. I'm going to move this to the back burner, and very shortly I'm going to go on my fish. My vegetables coming over here. My frying oil is coming over here. So what I'm going to do over here with this shallot, I just simply going to slice the shallots, and then I'm going to coat it gently with rice flour. And rice flour is a great flour because it's very low moisture, so it fries very nice and crispy. So it works really, really good. So you can hear the percolation on the oil right now, and that is due to the herbs that is releasing some moisture into the oil, and the lemon that is also releasing some moisture in the oil. Okay, my temperature is perfect, and I'm going to begin my poaching process. I'm going to get my shallots over here, and I'm going to just add the rice flour. And again, I don't want a lot of flour over here. I just want just a little bit to coat the shallots. So all-purpose flour have a high moisture content. It tends to sog things up a little bit. So I like to utilize, in this specific application, rice flour. Works better for us. So I'm going to put this on hold, and it's ready to go, okay? Right here, my fish is doing really, really well. I'm going to flip only once. I'm going to allow to the fish to cook halfway through, just in one way, and then the back. Here I'm heating up the pan. Very important, when you're doing a sauté application, which is a dry cooking method, it's very important that you heat up the pan before you add your oil. So in this case over here, I'm heating up the pan, and then I'm going to add my canola oil, and then I'm going to begin my sautéing broccoli rabe. And again, my broccoli rabe, the only thing I did, I cut the woody stems, the bottom part, I blanched it in boiling salt water. and shocked in ice. I have some Spanish almonds over here. This is Marcona almonds, which is delicious, and I'm just going to utilize that as my first flavored and textural component on this dish. So I'm just going to break it down a little bit, and then should be ready to go. Okay? Perfect. So my pan is hot. I'm going to go with canola oil. And again, you already noticed there's several things over here. We have like 4 applications in this recipe. All 4 applications utilizing canola oil. And canola oil, from its neutrality and versatility, is working perfectly over here. I have my sauce that is a canola oil base. I have my satay that is started out with canola, and then I'm doing my shallow poaching over here that is just coming together really, really beautiful. So I'm going to flip my fish right now, and you can see that it's just gorgeous. So right here, I have my oil, and I'm going to add my almonds. I'm going to toast this almond over here just until it becomes a little bit aromatic. So you're going to see some, some beautiful aromas coming in. You're going to start to get it just gently toasted, and it'll be great. Flavor component on this dish is going to be crushed red pepper, and going to be just few little slivers of garlic. If you don't like garlic for what it is, you can always slice the garlic and soak in milk a little bit, and that will cut the edge of the garlic a little bit. That is very traditional technique in the Mediterranean, to just soak the garlic in milk a little bit. I'm just kind of gently toasting this garlic and this almond, and going to be the first flavor profile on this specific dish. My shallot poach is almost ready to go. It's just now the fish is just medium rare, and if I come over here and touch the fish gently, have a very light spring, so would be ready to go. I will shut the heat down, and then I'm going to shut the heat off, and I'm going to allow the fish to rest on the oil a little bit while my vegetables are done. Okay? I'm going to get my broccolini or broccoli rabe, and I'm going to saute. I'm going to season, salt and freshly cracked black pepper, and crushed red pepper. Just a little bit of heat in there would be nice. Everything's getting nice and toasty, just kind of nice and cohesive. I'm going to add just a touch of oil over here, and I think we are pretty much ready. Perfect. Now I'm ready to fry my shallots. I'm going to get a bowl and a paper towel over here. I'm just going to withdraw some of the oil on this fish. And you can see how the fish is nice and plump. It's just beautiful. It's a great technique. So my shallot is almost ready to go. One thing that I want to make sure you understand, this beautiful flavorful oil over here, and again, this is freshly infused canola oil, have a little bit of a fish juice because we utilize to poach our halibut. So you can use this to poach a second portion of halibut, or poach some shrimp or lobster, as long as we stay in the realm of seafood, and then you'll be able to utilize that. You can use this oil tomorrow as long as you keep a refrigerator. The trick over here, if you heat it up in high heat, will separate a little bit because the herbs, okay? So you need to make sure that you keep that in a appropriate temperature. So I have my crispy shallots over here, and I have just a gorgeous sauce over here. Okay, and here we go. We have a beautifully canola oil poached halibut that is infused with herbs, a gorgeous confit shallot and roast tomato sauce, and a sauté broccoli rabe with slivers of fresh garlic, fried shallots, and toasted almonds. Enjoy!